Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. We're talking dark pools today, the mystery of it all. XRP, Bitcoin, the carry trade. What do you do? What comes next? So welcome to our dark pool. We're going to reveal it all to you this afternoon. There's no show from Sensei today for the Electrum members, so I'm doing this and I'm going to give an Electrum special, answering your questions and going deeper into the dark pool at the end of this 20-minute, 30-minute general subscriber live stream. So if you are a Electrum member or you'd like to become one, there'll be a members special at the end of this, going even deeper for our Electrum members. We honor you and we'll be taking care of you this afternoon. All right, so let's get straight into what we are here to discuss today. Well, we're going deep into the dark pools. What is it all about? What is the dark pool? What are people saying? What are they suggesting? And we'll break it all down for you. I've got some charts. I've got some specific details, analysis. It's going to be quite complex. So buckle up, sit back and get ready. So may I ask, before we begin, could everyone tap the like button, please? If we could get 100 likes, it will share it out to other people, so more people can know what's going on. And click subscribe and ring the bell. That would be absolutely fantastic. All right, so in this live stream, to be absolutely clear, we're going to go deep into the dark pools and discover where the market is going to go next, what we should do. I've got all the evidence to back it up, to explain it all. I've spent a lot of time putting this together for your benefit. All right. So first of all, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Christmas, as we say in the UK. It's lovely to have you here on a Sunday evening. The markets have just opened. We'll discuss all of that, the overnight positions and everything. And at the end, there'll be an Electrum special for everybody who's an Electrum member to go deeper into this. Now, full disclosure. As always, I aim to be the most honest, trusted source of information on YouTube TV. I share my real positions. This is my real money, all of my real money. As you can see, year to date, now 42%. I've just taken a lot of money out of my portfolio to pay my tax, so it's trimmed back a bit. I've gone from $5,000 to $288. As I say, I've taken money out. It was way over 290, but I've taken some money out for tax. This is all the money I have in the world. This is my real trades, my real positions. I do all my trades live on the show for you. So I've got nothing to sell, no reason to do this. I'm not selling videos. I'm just going live. I'm answering everyone's questions. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I turn down $30,000 offers all the time. I don't custodian your money. I don't ask you to send me money and promise you anything. I'm just here to bring you the facts directly from the sources. I have information directly from Robinhood, Bank of America, Ripple, and many, many others, many CEOs you've seen live on the show. I'm also going to bring you one of those sources today live on the show. That's coming up in a minute, getting to get a very nice perspective on the carry trade and what it really means. Now then, manipulation. It starts from the S&P 500, Standard & Poor. Standard & Poor is not your friend and crypto's your enemy. Standard & Poor is a rating agency, and it is paid to deliver ratings for institutions, companies, and so on. A bit like the what's the name of it now? I've just forgotten the name of it. I had it in my mind a few moments ago. It's a ratings company that rates Chevrolet cars. That's so annoying. I've forgotten the name. As I say, I'm doing all this live, unedited, unscripted. But JD Power will tell everybody that this is the best car in the world. They are a rating agency paid by Chevrolet to say such things. Now, crypto, we've been through a time. It's still very new in the world. 99% of the world does not invest in the stock market, and 99% of the world doesn't invest in crypto. So it's meant to sound complicated. If it sounded too easy, everybody would do it. It's meant to sound like the gold rush, something strange, new, what's going on. Dark pool, for example, isn't the real term. It's a liquidity pool, but those that are in crypto like to call it the dark pool. Everything is to sound mysterious and draw you in and get you to think there's something that you're missing out, because if you feel you're missing something out, you feel you have to be in. That's the attraction, because it's not difficult to sell Coca-Cola. When you go, they make a can of Coke for 50 cents, they sell it for $1, 50%, 50 cents profit. Very easy, simple. That's just buying a business. Crypto is different, because most crypto, nearly all crypto, doesn't actually earn any money. Does it? It only goes up because you buy it. Doesn't mean to say it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's not. I bought XRP at 38 cents. I've owned a whole Bitcoin. I've traded in and out and all these wonderful things. But at the end of the day, it has to sound eluding, complicated, exciting, and as if you're missing something out. So what is the dark pool? Let me explain it. And we're going to hear from one of my sources today, one of many, about the carry trade. We covered it live the other evening, and many of you said, well, it didn't crash, did it? Well, yes, it did. From the top of crypto to where it is now, Bitcoin and XRP is down some sort of 35–40%. That's a crash in my book, and I sold it at the top. However, that isn't the crash that I'm talking about. That's going to come from the carry trade. The carry trade gave us our rate hike as we expected. Many overlooked it and went, well, that's okay. Nothing really happened. We covered the whole live event, be it in Japanese. And when we read the transcripts, it obvious is hawkish because Japan is about to start increasing rates again. Everything has changed, worse in 30 years. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's going to happen, and we are going to see the S&P pull back somewhat 40% and crypto 80%. So as a value investor, I'm not here to sell or promote anything. I'm just here to buy value. And that's how I've gone from 5,000 to nearly 300 grand without losing money. These are my trades. These are my wins. The only couple of times I lost is when I showed you how what you can't manipulate the market. So anyway, we're going to start with some dark pool information, and then we're going to go into the carry trade and how the whole thing links together. I've got one of my sources on the show. All right. So let's start with the carry. Let's start with the dark pools. What is it? Has everyone tapped the like button? If you can tap the like button, it'd be absolutely amazing. There's 372 of you watching. So if everyone taps the like button, we'll be suggested on YouTube, which would be great. And we can get rid of half the nonsense that exists out there and try to get the good information out there. So anyway, let's go straight into it. So what people mean by crypto dark pools. And again, it's a liquidity pool, but dark pools was created by some YouTubers in the space who want to make it sound more sexy and rock and roll and mysterious. When people say dark pools in crypto, they're not talking about the stock market version exactly. In crypto, they usually mean OTC desk, over-the-counter desk, internal exchange matching, and private institutional liquidity. So I'm going to start off by telling you it's not a bad thing. It does exist. It has to exist to protect the volatility of the market. If you saw BlackRock suddenly buy, billions of dollars of XRP or Bitcoin, the market would move violently, and that would not be healthy or helpful for anyone. However, because it's some kind of mystery, people can manipulate it, like the S&P 500. You can manipulate it, telling everybody it's about to explode and we're all missing out. And I somehow know what's going on in the dark pool. You don't, but people tell you they do, but they don't. And the qualifications that they get to tell you, I can get one in Texas in about 10 minutes by paying $100, going online, and now I can tell you all about crypto, be an advisor for you, literally by going online in 10 minutes. It doesn't make you an expert. These are trades that do not hit the public order book. As I've explained, it's a good thing. So price can sit still. So you look at the market and you go, look, it's not moving. What's going on? And somebody will say, well, I can tell you, everyone's buying in the background and in a minute it's going to explode. It might mean that, but they don't know it means that, but they want something to sell. Anyone who's got that to say always has something to sell. Very often it's training courses or custodian services, none of which we do. We have a training course which is free, included in our newsletter. So price can sit still while real buying is happening quietly in the background. So is everybody loading up and then all of a sudden it's going to explode? Well, many people will say so. However, it's not necessarily the case. Let's look at my first chart here. So if you might want to pause the live stream at this point or later, and you can go into this in more detail. I'm not going to break down every chart, otherwise I'd be here for 3 hours. We're going to reserve lots of this for our Electrum members, live Q&A at the end. We'll have a members special when we can go deeper dive. But for everybody who's a general subscriber, you can pause the screen and you can take a look at this. So I'm not going to go into great detail with this, all right? I've prepared some other information you might like to look at. The public markets, order-driven, quote-driven, hybrids, the way it comes down. If you want to pause that, as again, if I did all this, it would take me hours and hours and hours, and I prepared it all for you. I want you to take a look at it yourselves. All right, so back to this point here. So if you're a fund, a bank or a sovereign entity, so nobody is here and nobody has access to it, no matter how what they tell you, how much money they've got, and how much they can convince you they do know, they don't know. And I know this firsthand because I speak directly with the people that are in these clubs, and they tell me nobody knows what's going on other than those that are in the club. And if you're retail, you're not. If you're a fund, a bank, or a sovereign entity, you cannot just smash buy on Binance. Obviously, 100 million buy order would explode the price instantly. Of course it would. So instead, they accumulate slowly, privately, and patiently, using OTC desks and internal matching to avoid the market. So it's true to say, if this is all going on in the background, then we could be in for a great treat, right? We wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin is up 100%. That would be great. Fantastic. Here's the part most people miss, and this is important. Dark pools can hide buying, but they cannot hide it forever. Eventually, sellers run out, inventory dries up, and hedging spills onto public exchanges. So, again, now this would suggest to some people that, okay, there's going to be lots of buying in, going in on at the side, and then all of a sudden, it'll all pop up, and we're all going to get rich. It's a very nice narrative to suggest, but it's not necessarily the case. And with the current backdrop, it's absolutely 100% not going to happen. Why price can look dead before it explodes. So this is a lot of the information that is being shared by those that want to suggest that we are about to explode. Price impact. Low versus high liquidity. You can see on the left-hand side, I've got low liquidity price, large price impact, characteristics, wide bid-ask spreads, high spillage on larger orders, and volatile price movements. High liquidity, characteristics, tight bid-asks, minimal slippage on large orders, and stable price movement. Let me explain that a bit more. So, this is why you'll often see crypto go sideways for weeks or months. This is what everyone is assuming is the same pattern we've seen over and over again, except this time things are very different. You cannot tell me that the crypto space is what it was 4 years ago. It's a completely different space. So the rules are different. However, it doesn't stop those in the retail space on social media telling you we're all about to explode again. Maybe we will, but I'm going to show you in a moment that I know we're not, and I'm going to share with you one of my sources. So this is why you'll often see crypto going sideways for weeks or months. Retail thinks nothing is happening. Sentiment dies. Volume looks boring, but then out of nowhere, you get a vertical candle. It's not magic. That's inventory exhaustion. This is what has happened in the past. Looks great. Let's load up on Bitcoin. Let's buy some XRP. Let's jump in the dark pool, even though we're not. Let's get on in and see what happens and see how we can get rich. Fair enough. Why not? Give it a go. Tap the like button and consider subscribing. I'd love everyone to subscribe today. It'd be absolutely wonderful. But what dark pools do not mean. Now, this is the part that people don't really want to tell you about, because if it's the dark pool and it's all mystery and it's all, we're going to get rich in a minute, bro, let's not talk about the negative side, and let's definitely not talk about the carry trade. So let's be very clear. Dark pools do not mean guaranteed upside. Well, on social media now, you will see guaranteed upside, 100%. We're about to explode upwards. Guaranteed. Tom Lee makes predictions while he wears a badge of granny shots on CNBC, advertising his ETF while he's paid to be on ETF, while he's also wearing another badge of his Ethereum interest. So he's got every interest to tell you it's about to explode. However, he makes predictions and then just moves them. I make predictions, I leave them where they are. I am not paid by anyone. If I make a prediction and I get it wrong, I say I got it wrong about the rate hikes. Rate cuts should have happened one meeting before they actually did. And now, so I was wrong. However, it does appear that the Fed were late. So I was right in my analysis, but I was wrong, so I say I'm wrong. It's not a prediction if you just keep moving it down the line. You say what you got wrong and learn from it, not just say, well, we think Bitcoin is going to go to $200,000 by the end of the year, and then it will go to all-time high, 126 by January, and then actually by the end of 26, we can actually see it going to 200,000 again. It keeps moving, while those at Fundstrat are now fighting and disagreeing and actually saying Bitcoin is going to $60,000. Hello, have they been watching my show? Because that's exactly what I've been saying for the longest time. The difference is I wasn't paid or promoted any reason to say something different. Tom Lee knows he's smarter than me. Of course he bloody is, but he doesn't want to say that. Anyway, so dark pools do not mean secret price control, a free pass against macro conditions, and a guaranteed upside. Liquidity still matters. That's the key. Do we have liquidity? Are we about to get a massive dump on the stock market? Yes, we are, and I'll show you in a moment. Rates still matter. The carry trade still matters. Hello? Dark pools don't override reality. They just delay price discovery. All right. So how I personally watch for hidden accumulation. This is what I look at. I'm going to share some information. And again, if you want these charts, they'll be provided in the description. Links to all of this. You can get much more detail on all of this stuff should you wish to go to it. I'm not going to go into deep dive on all of this. Now, I'll be here for hours. I am going to do more at the end for my Electra members. I want this to be a very short live stream and then go into my Electra members at the end to give you your Electrum show on a Sunday, as we always do. I don't watch conspiracy theories. I watch for signals. I'm a value investor. At the end of the day, you all know I don't lose. I keep making money. I compound. I get to $1 million by the end of the decade. I'm 1 year ahead of that now. I'll earn 100 grand a year for doing absolutely nothing and not having to sell. I can borrow against it. I'm looking for value. I'm not trying to guess. I'm not trying to take risk on things to achieve goals for things I don't need. Absolutely not. I'm just here to win. But most importantly, I take great responsibility in bringing the best information to the Lucasades because I want the Lucasades all to win, all to make money, and I care. I might get it wrong. If I get it wrong, I'll say I get it wrong, but I haven't got it wrong for nearly 2 years. Price holding while bad news hits. So things like price holding while bad news hits. Well, let's remember, we have seen now crypto falling some 35, 40, 50% in some cases since the high. Now we're getting bad news. It's already falling before this. You could argue we are stabilizing at the moment. Well, there's a good reason for that. We're all waiting for tomorrow morning. We've just had the reaction from the carry trade. Tomorrow morning, Monday, things will be much more violent, I expect. Sell pressure getting absorbed, funding rates calming down, and liquidity gaps forming above price. When those line up, that's when I pay attention. Now then, let's go into the carry trade. Let's go much deeper into the carry trade. We covered this the other night, live on my show. Sensei covered it for hours. He was live for like 12 hours. And we had some 60,000 people, more than any other news outlet in the world. We covered the carry trade. It's important. Now, I have many sources, including those at Bank of America, Robinhood, Ripple, and CEOs. One of those, I have this source here. There's one of my friends here, lovely lady here. And let's see what she has to say about the carry trade. Before you hear from her, I'm going to tell you that even though we didn't get the price dump, we did get the price fall into it. You may remember I bought XRP at the bottom and flipped it and made myself some money during the event itself. I got back out again and now I'm all in SGov. I've made way too much money to be risking it this year, to be sitting around waiting for what I know is happening. We're going to get more rate hikes from Japan, and we are going to get a lot less rate cuts from America because inflation can now certainly come back. And add that to everything else with the yen carry trade, the debt crisis, the valuations of everything, and going, of course, into January when everyone does tax selling, harvesting, and all this kind of stuff. There's no way you can tell me that we're going to go up sustainably with crypto. I don't care if it shoots up to 100,000 tomorrow, because you'll never get out at the right time. You'll think it's going to keep going. I want to buy when I know I don't lose money. I want to buy when I can build value. So let's hear from this first part, talking about the yen carry trade, and then I will stop this at certain points and see if you agree with any of this. Let's go. Let's fire it up.
For decades, Japan was the quiet enabler of global risk-taking. While the rest of the world cycled through booms, busts, and tightening phases, Japan effectively stayed frozen in time. And of course, I'm referring to near zero interest rates, cheap funding, and an open invitation to borrow yen and then turn around and invest.
Now, this is important. Most people think Japan is a tiny little country. It has no say in what's going on in the world. But the reality is it's the world financer, and things have now changed. So the dominance of the dollar is over. Things are going to change. The genie is not going back in the bottle. Let's hear some more.
Literally anywhere in the world, which enabled the carry yen trade. That era may have just ended. Since Japan is the biggest holder of U.S. treasuries, of U.S. debt, in other words.
So, if you can access Japanese yen, Japanese money, this is not just about Japanese retail investors buying Bitcoin or buying Tesla. This is US businesses, enterprises, institutions using Japanese money to buy American businesses. And when they raise the rate one more step, it's already happened, things have already flipped, then the yen carry trade unwinds, everything sells off. So this is just one of the pieces. There are many pieces that can send the market down, and crypto will pay the biggest price.
The question now is, will Japan collapse American economy? Let's dissect what just happened and what to be aware of. This week, the Bank of Japan raised its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points.
And most people, when they saw that, said, no big deal, 0.25, nothing happened, whoop-de-doo. What you don't understand, it's a complete change and a complete reversal on sentiment. And it's not been lost by anyone. Everyone is now ready for it. Institutions are ready to dump, and retail just thinks, oh, that was all right then. Let's carry on buying. It's the Santa rally. Why not?
To 0.75%. This is the highest level in 3 decades. On paper, that number still looks small, nothing to write home about. But markets don't trade on levels alone. They trade on what? They trade on direction, and the direction just changed.
Exactly. Very, very important point there. The direction changed. Everything has now changed. And you can be as passionate and excited about what you want to own and enthusiastic. But remember, the asset doesn't know you own it. And no one is your friend in this world. There's no safe stock to buy, safe asset to buy. And I truly do not want any one of my Lucasades to lose money. It's easy to make money. The hard part is to keep it.
Governor Kazuo Ueda tried to soften the blow. He said that real interest rates will remain significantly low. But no one listening carefully missed the point. The free money era is over.
This is the point. It was quite interesting, actually, because we covered this event live. More people watched our live event than any other station in the world. Over 60,000 people watched it live with us. Okay. And what was really interesting, and it just shows you how paralyzing retail investors can actually be, when the actual speech started, it was in Japanese. No one had a clue what was being said other than I was reading the transcript, so I was finding out what was being said. The audience, which were watching it, stayed watching it. paralyzed. That's just what, no one has a clue what's being said. This is how easy we are to be manipulated. Oh, this is something I need to watch. No, it was hilarious. The chat was hilarious. People were joking and laughing. I was making jokes myself. I just couldn't believe thousands of people were tuned in to watch something in Japanese that not one person other than our Japanese audience had any idea what was being said. And then when their crypto didn't go down, I'm not bothered. They literally don't know what the governor said. It's hilarious.
And global markets are now staring down the possibility of a massive yen carry trade unwind. To understand why the world is holding its breath, you have to understand what the yen carry trade actually is. In very simple terms, it's borrowing money in a country with ultra-low interest rates, such as Japan, and investing that money in higher yielding assets elsewhere. For nearly 30 years, Japan offered almost zero cost funding.
This is significant. Everything in the market has just changed and it's not going back in the bottle. I'm sharing to you today one of my sources. I've got many. This is one, talk directly with. Please smash the like button, consider subscribing, and in a few moments' time, we're going to go to an Electrum event, do a deeper dive on the dark pools, and we are then going to answer Q&A for our Electrum members coming up in a few moments.
Traders borrowed yen, sold it for dollars, for pesos, reals, crypto, equities, bonds, effectively anything with yield, and pocketed the difference. As long as the yen stayed weak or stable, it was basically free money. But there was always one risk. If the yen strengthened, those profits could vanish overnight.
And that is what's happened. But why we haven't seen a collapse yet is it's just the beginning. It's the whole policy has reversed and it's going to continue. And if you listen to the transcript from what the governor said, it is the beginning. So there's no doubt about it. It's happening. But while this was going on, crypto channels were talking about the liquidity and the dark pools of XRP exploding over the weekend. Well, they didn't, did they? You may know there's some very large channels saying the yen carry trade, and when they put rates up, if they put rates up, and they did, then XRP is going to explode upwards. Nothing happened, did it? Not a damn thing.
Well, the risk just became reality. Markets actually expected the rate hike. Remember, I discussed this in my previous video on the subject, and the video has more than 500,000 views by now. Thank you so much to every single one of you who watched it. But I discussed that about 70% of traders had priced in a rate hike. But remember, expectations and reality are two very different beasts.
Which is what I said. You may remember on the show, people criticized me and we had an argument saying it's all been priced in. Everything is priced in, so it just goes up from here, no problem at all. It's not. We had quite a sluggish week preparing for it. Everybody's kind of gone, oh, okay, this is it. It's going to be fine. Now we can rally from here, except we didn't. Nothing really happened. I had people message me saying XRP and Bitcoin's booming because it went up 1.5%, 2% and then back down again. It's not. So this is the beginning of a trend reversal. This is not just a one-off event. Let's carry on. This is important stuff.
When the decision hit, the US dollar to Japanese yen initially spiked toward 157, and then it violently reversed to around 153 within hours. The rate hike hits differently this time than the last one. Back in August, when the Bank of Japan surprised markets, the Nikkei crashed about 12% in a single day. Well, this time, the move was telegraphed. It was widely expected, but remember, telegraphed doesn't necessarily mean harmless. The Bank of Japan made it very clear that more hikes are coming.
There you go. This is the crux of it all. More rates are coming. So I've got much more to share from you from this particular source. Plus I have live Q&A. I'm now going to move over to our Electrum event because I want to provide the best service for our members. I'm also watching the markets open tonight, and we'll have a look now at the futures. The futures at the moment is up. We are up 0.23. So expect the market to be up again. I'm out, remember, of everything, completely everything. And you might wonder, how does that feel? It feels great. It feels great because if I show you my year to date, there it is. That's how much money I've made in just 1 year, 72 grand from $5,000 to 288. And I've taken about 8 grand out now. So it's a lot less than, it was more than this. Took it out to prepare for my tax, transferred it to my bank to pay for my taxes, my profits I've made, and so on and so forth. I am ready because remember, I'm a value investor. I'm looking to buy value. I don't guess. I'm not here to guess or gamble. Because remember, the most important thing is to know what your goals are, know what you want, and at the end of the day, why are you risking for something that you don't even need, for something you don't even know you want yet? Think about that if you can turn that around. Anyway, so I hope you got a lot out of this, everybody. There's much more to share with you. I am going to go deeper dive into this and do a live Q&A. I'll be back in the morning for our opening bell show. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this for my general viewers. You'll see on the screen now, I've just got to press a couple of buttons. I've got to just press a couple of, where's my buttons gone? For some reason, I'm missing me button. Don't worry, I'll find it again. I'm going to end the live stream for general subscribers because I have many members that want to ask a question and go even deeper on this and what prices I'm predicting and what I'm buying next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my settings here and end the stream for everybody, and it's automatically going to stay live for Electrum members. So if you are Electrum Gold sponsor or Platinum, we have a Platinum whale investor, of course, on the show, you will be able to follow on. Everybody else, that is it for the general subscriber channel, this is the subscriber view. So let me just change this now. Edit this. I want to make sure all our Electrum members are taken care of tonight. Very, very important. So let me just redirect. We're not going there. Okay, let me save that. And what I'll do, I've got a few more moments before I do end. So let me do this now. I shall click here and members only. Okay, all channel members know it's Electrum and upwards, this special event. It's our Sunday Electrum night. There we go, 5 minutes. So on the clock now, you will see, can you see on the clock at the top of the screen? If I share with you here, you can see a 5-minute countdown. So in 5 minutes, you can see it going, if I can just zoom in, there you go. You can see it counting down now. It'll automatically end the stream for everybody, but the Electrum members will continue, all right? Okay, Electrum Gold, Platinum, and investor level and sponsor level will continue, okay? So there we go. Let me just make a couple of adjustments here. Upcoming, I need to do that as well. And I'm just preparing for it. So I've got much more information to share. I'm going to carry on sharing all the analysis while we go. Subscribers, who can participate, will only be members anyway. And that will redirect to our 24-hour service. And there we go. All right, we're all set. So I'm going to carry on going now until the clock runs out, and it will just continue, okay? All right, so let's go back to this information, and then we're going to discuss this with a live Q&A as well. So let's go back over to this. We'll continue this, and when the clock reaches 0, it will end for general subscribers and go to Electrum members. If you want to become a member, there is the Electrum link. It's live. It's on the membership page of the channel, but just click on that and you can do that. So anyway, let's carry on with this. Here we go. A bit more information, and then we'll go deeper into the dark pools.
The economy is recovering moderately, they say. The labor market is tight, wages are rising, but inflation is no longer dormant. Inflation is rising in Japan, which means that the hike is not a one-off adjustment. This is the beginning of a tightening cycle. That matters because there is still an enormous amount of yen-funded leverage around the global system.
So it's not a matter of if, It's a matter of when. And I remember following the story of Michael Burry when he called for the big short. And what happened? Everybody started shouting at him when things didn't pan out at the schedule at the time they said. It just took some time, and it just revealed how fraudulent the system was. It kept fighting back. It kept fighting back, refusing to give up. Well, eventually it did, and this is the same. So right now, all those YouTubers telling you you're all going to get rich in 5 minutes, keep on pumping, keep on selling training programs, keep on selling custodian packages, keep on doing it. I will keep doing what I know is right. I will keep doing the right thing. I won't stop because I care about my viewers. It's as simple as that. I'm here for my viewers, and it's really all I actually care about is doing the right thing for my viewers. Anyway, let's continue with this.
Estimates vary widely, but even conservative calculations put hundreds of billions of dollars in outstanding yen carry positions. For example, Morgan Stanley estimates around $500 billion are still active. Others argue that the true number, once derivatives and indirect exposure are included, could reach into the trillions.
Exactly. Now, this sort of number will send the market down 40%. So what will happen to your crypto? And this will happen overnight. This will happen so quickly. There'll be no way of selling. There'll be no way of doing stop losses. I've got people messaging me saying, I'm doing stop losses. Stop losses is ridiculous. Stop losses only benefit the they only benefit the brokerage. They do not benefit you. They're designed to get you to trade, not to protect your money, to trade so the brokerage make money. The tools that brokerages provide you weren't designed to help you. They were designed to get you to engage. That is very important that you understand that.
0.25%. The carry trade was a no-brainer. It was cheap money. At 0.75%, it may become slightly uncomfortable, but at 1.25% or even higher, which...
Okay, we're now moving over to our Electrum event. All members who are Electrum and up will continue with me. Everybody else, thank you very much indeed. I will see you back in the morning. We're now doing live Q&A, deeper dive on those pools. I wish everybody the best of luck. We have to provide a member service. It's so we can provide a better service for everyone. That's it from me. I'll see you back. Stay right where you are in just a couple of seconds. Here we go.